Hi, and welcome to our video, How to Deal with Challenges and Suffering. Okay, so the first thing is to recognize that they're two different things. So let's start off by looking at challenges. Now, a lot of us might kind of moan pretty much every day to other people in our minds, oh, I've got this to deal with, and I've got that to deal with, and I've got this to overcome and that to overcome. And we sort of complain about having, these challenges, these difficulties. Okay, now, here's the thing. Challenges and difficulties in our life are guaranteed, okay? But I promise you that psychological suffering as a result of those challenges or difficulties is optional, okay? So what do I mean by that? Let's look at challenges. Now, I guess that probably you'll like reading books. You may be like watching movies or, TV, dramas, whatever. When you think about the things that you like watching or like reading about, see if you notice that there tends to be a bit of a theme. There's a character that we kind of associate with, that we like in some way, and they are then, we kind of buy into them, and then something happens, doesn't it? They have this They have this challenge in their life, don't we? This difficulty, this setback. And then the story then unfolds with them having to find the resources within somehow to be able to overcome this challenge, to be able to defeat these obstacles, to be able to, get beyond it. That's what makes the story, isn't it? That's what we find interesting. Imagine watching a film or reading a book where this lovely person woke up in the morning and had this lovely life where nothing ever happened and they weren't ever challenged. There was nothing to overcome, and it was just all, puppies and roses and sunshine. Well, how dull would that be? We wouldn't want to watch it. We wouldn't want to read that book, would we? So life is about challenges. Being human is about overcoming challenges. That's one of the things that humans are great at, is overcoming challenges. So the first thing that you've got to do is to accept that that is what being alive is all about. And that's the good stuff. It's great when we overcome these challenges. So the issue is, if we wake up every morning and think, well, my life shouldn't have any challenges or difficulties, then guess what? You're going to be disappointed, aren't you? Because you're going to find challenges and difficulties every single day. So it starts off by recognizing, well, no, not only am I going to get them, I welcome them, because that's how I'm going to grow and that's how I'm going to learn. Because if you look at the things that you've learned from in your life, that you've grown from, I guarantee that it's because you overcome some challenge or difficulty. Yes? So it starts off by the way that we think. So if we start to think about them difficultly, if we just accept that they're part of life, because again, notice that it isn't the challenge or difficulty that makes you feel stressed, for example. Again, it's how you think about it. So if you think this shouldn't be happening, the issue isn't with the fact that the challenge or difficulty is happening. It's the fact that you're thinking it shouldn't be happening. Does that make sense? So if you just accept, again, we can go back to using Pablo, and if you don't know that technique, go and learn it. By using Pablo, that can help us deal with this, because we're just accepting it, and then we're looking for options to deal with it, to turn it into something that we're happy with. Does that make sense? So just accept that challenges and difficulties are a part of life, and they always will be. They're a part of mine every single day. I come across challenges and difficulties, okay? And I welcome them, because that's what I grow from. For example, guess what? I don't like sitting in front of this camera in a recording studio making these things. So I have to overcome that limitation of not wanting to do that in order to be able to communicate with you. Yes? So that's actually then helping me to grow as a person, because I'm overcoming this challenge and this difficulty, okay? So this is then where it links into suffering. What is suffering? And suffering is different from pain, by the way. Pain is a physical thing. If you stick a pin in my leg, it's going to hurt. That's pain. But suffering is a different thing. Suffering is where we're saying, oh no, this is terrible. It shouldn't be like this. And I don't want it to be like this. I don't want to have to make these videos. I don't want to have to sit in front of a camera. It's not fair. That's suffering. That's psychological suffering. So suffering is the way that we talk to ourselves about something again. And suffering and the challenge and the difficulty are actually separate things. It's not the challenge or the difficult situation that actually creates the way we feel. It's the way we talk to ourselves about the challenge or the difficult situation that therefore creates the suffering. It's an internal thing. Does that make sense? So if you don't believe me, look at things in your life. Look at the things that you find in your life right now that is a challenge, things that you're finding difficulty with, and see whether you can learn to separate, because at the moment you're, no, but that is what's creating the suffering. Slow it down, take a step back, look closely. Is it really the actual external challenge or difficulty that's creating the suffering, or is it the way that you're talking to yourself? The story that you have about the suffering, oh, it's not fair. That's what creates the suffering, okay? So as soon as you start to change the way that you think about it, then the challenge and the difficulty doesn't create any suffering anymore. And in fact, you look forward to them because that's how you grow. Again, going back to your favorite films and your favorite stories, I guarantee you somewhere in there, the character that you identify with, the reason you like watching it is because this person overcame some difficulty, overcame some challenge, and they grew from it. So start to welcome those in your life, because the more challenges and setbacks and difficulties you have, the more you're going to grow and the more you're going to blossom and the better you're going to feel about yourself. Okay. So, and there again, within the Inner Balance coaching system, there are techniques specifically to help you deal with all of these things. So I hope that was helpful. Go ahead and use those other resources and get stuck into enjoying these challenges and these difficulties. Good luck.